am out in the culinary garden, the smaller of our two plots. We'll just do a little recap of what we did yesterday. We had whole staff out. I actually put a little sign up in the vestibule at the restaurant, and had the staff sign up, brought their kids out, and what we did was we tilled in a lot of the compost and sort of organic material that we had saved over the winter. We also mowed a little bit, basically did a lot of preparation for the planting that we were about to do. Fun part of it was the waiters come out, cooks come out, or a dishwasher come out, brought their kids along. It was a really sort of fun family environment. They were able to come and pick rocks and dig in the dirt, and really this proof that great food is sort of trickling down to the next generation. They're able to dig in and see some of the work that has to take place in order to get great food, great vegetables to the table. This was a fun day. We had a grill out here, we had some drinks, had a nice sort of picnic lunch when we were through, and outside of doing the work that we did, which is really great. I mean, you can see that getting rocks out of this soil is going to be an ongoing process, but it was fun. You just see a bunch of kids running around with buckets pulling rocks out, and while some people might look at that as child labor, we look at it as an awful lot of fun. But nice to see everyone out here, and it was almost like a team building exercise. More than a team building exercise, it really felt like we were a big family out here working in our gardens and getting prepared for this season. So we're now turning the corner into planting, and I'm sure that we're going to have, in the next couple weeks, we'll have another one of those Sundays where everybody brings their kids out. We'll plant some things, we'll do some harvest, and then we'll sit down and have something to eat, a little picnic style at the end of the day. Okay, it's April 16th, beautiful morning here in South Central Pennsylvania, and we're today making the turn from the sort of soil preparation and soil management to planting. So I'm here with my dad, Jim Little, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we've done throughout the winter time, and more specifically in the past couple weeks, to get our soil ready here in the culinary garden, and also what you can do at home in your either garden plot or on your back patio. So we have a sort of soil tester. He's going to talk to you a little bit about how we get ready before we put the plants in.
Okay, I've just returned from a couple of months in Myrtle Beach. Now I'm ready to lose all that weight I packed on by spending a few hours each day out here in the garden. While I was gone, Andy and his crew have put in compost, cow manure, and some mushroom soil, and dug that in fairly well. And they did some rototilling yesterday and rock picking, which you probably saw in his blog. What I've done this morning so far is stake out the garden. I have it measured, this larger garden is measured at 200 by 40, and I put pegs in every 20 feet so that I can measure my beds properly. I don't put everything in at the same time because you're supposed to rotate your crops, which I do. So I often plant at different areas of the garden early on. So I need to have specific measurements so that my beds don't get on top of each other. Our smaller garden is measured out at 70 by 33. What I am going to do now, since the garden has already been mapped out, I have to test for pH. Plants like a 6.5 to 7 pH, which is slightly acidic. Since we put so much manure and compost in here, I have to check to make sure that we haven't overdone it and need to put some lime in. So I'm going to slide over here to an area that hasn't been tilled lately and do the pH test. I have a pH tester I bought a number of years ago for my home garden. It's very easy to use. You use a scratchy to clean off the two electrodes and then stick it into the ground. It should be in hard ground, not this loose stuff. You need good contact with the electrodes to get a good reading. Push it into the ground until it reaches on the gauge. You can see the needle, hopefully you can see the needle. And it takes a while to stabilize. Right now this is reading at about 6.9, maybe a little bit high, but I think we can get by without liming this spring. We'll put some lime on next fall. You obviously, in a garden this size, can't trust your pH in one spot to be the same everywhere throughout the garden. So I will test at about 10 or 15 different spots to make sure the pH is within the range of what we need, which is somewhere between 6.5 and 7. Once I've tested everything, if it all reads as well as this does, in fact I made a few other tests before we started this tape, and I was about 6.5, 6.7 on most of those. So once all of this is done, then I'll continue my prep. Tomorrow I'm going to be putting in our cabbage and cauliflower plants, which I'll be picking up from the nursery later this afternoon. Surprisingly, here April 16th, it is supposed to get up to 89 degrees today, which is not a good time to be putting in cold weather crops. They should have been in earlier. Normally I would have put those in mid-March, but we have had such unusually warm weather that it just would have been counterproductive to do that. So we'll put those in tomorrow, and hopefully the weather will cool down. Long range forecast is for it to get back closer to normal, high 60s, low 70s for the next couple days. So hopefully we'll have some video to show you in a day or two of the new plants being put into the garden.